Welcome back here, everyone. Apologies if you're hearing some construction noise. The location where I am at, there's some construction going on close by, and it's kind of like a 24/7 thing. So I'm trying to see the best to block it out. But if you happen to hear anything, that's just what's going on. Now, I want to be perfectly honest about this. I saw the trailer for this, and I wasn't really interested to look up to see what the series was about or when it was happening or anything like that. But when I saw the trailer, three thoughts came to my mind instantly. One, this series is not going to last. It's not going to last very long at all. That was my first thought. Secondly, I figured there's going to be some backlash and outrage once it is cancelled, but not because of the show, but because of what they're trying to push with the show. And thirdly, I figured somebody associated with the show was going to come out and talk and say the reason why the series failed is the exact thing I am talking about, the exact thing that I realized was going to be wrong with it. So said, so done. That's exactly what happened. So let's get into this. Cancel Netflix. Subscribers rage over teen lesbian vampire series. Cancellation after one season. Yeah, so this is the series is called First Kill. It's about this vampire hunter. The vampire hunter is the black girl, and she comes to this town. She's the new girl there, and it have another girl who's a white girl. She's a vampire, and apparently she has to make her first kill in order to join her vampire clan or whatever, be officially recognized or something. And she looks to go after the vampire hunter girl, although she doesn't know she's a vampire hunter. At the time, one thing leads to another. The two of them start to get, hot and heavy, and lesbian romance come out of it. Before I go any further, now if this show had been like about, let me say, 10-15 years ago, it would have been sort of like a guilty pleasure. People would have go to check it out and say, well, it would have been like, okay, vampires, alright. Lesbians, you would have said, okay, hot lesbians, let me take a look at what it is. But you would have been drawn in more for the vampire stuff. And if it had so many lesbian things in it, you might have stick around just to say, okay, alright, them hot, I might watch this. Okay. But now, everything has become so thrown into your face that you can't even enjoy anything like a guilty pleasure anymore, or enjoy anything for something that you could want. People would want to watch a vampire series for a vampire series. It have little lesbian romance and things like that. Some people may gravitate towards it, yes, but the vast majority of people would want to watch it for the vampire series in it. But that's not what happened. This show focused heavily on the lesbian angle and barely anything on the vampire angle. So let's look at what people had to say. Now, when Netflix cancelled it after one season, right? After one season, because Netflix returned on Twitter where the streamer drove a stake through the heart of First Kill after just one season. The sapphic drama series, which debuted in June, was neither a critical nor popular success, but its premature demise had its loyal followers seeing red. Some of the show's fans have accused Netflix of lesphobia and racism. It is the only thing that they ever laid with. There's nothing about the show. Keep in mind, you don't know anything about the show itself. Noting that First Kill featured characters who were gay women of color. Why do you all hate lesbians so much? One fan asked. Now, have you all learned nothing from Batwoman? I'll get back more to that point shortly. Here's what some of these people had to say. Netflix is legit going down in history as lesbophobic and racist, and they can't do anything about it. Right? Another one said, like my thing is, we're never going to get a dark-skinned lesbian lead again. So yeah, that's going and pretend Batwoman, which was a horrible series, never happened, but okay. Like, this was rare for media. This was a rare sighting for people that look like me, and they just canceled it. Like, I still can't process this shit, bro. The show's ratings and views were just fine. When will companies stop canceling shows that gives their lesbian viewers representation? Why do you all hate lesbians so much? Now, from what I understand, the show's ratings and views were not very good. Right? Were not very good. When it initially, you see here, they have Netflix top 10, number 7. I think when it initially premiered, like the first couple days, maybe I don't think it was a week, it was at number 7 or something like that, and then after they just dropped off and didn't come back. Deadline reported that Netflix cancelled First Kill after the series failed to meet the thresholds for viewing and completion of episodes needed to renew the series for a second season. But that reasoning didn't appear to convince the show's fans, and by fans, we know these are not fans. All Netflix do is lie. That's what somebody else had to say. That's strange. It's like people actually liked this show and watched it for 99+ million hours of something. Against Peaky Blinders, Umbrella Academy, and Stranger Things, but it wasn't being watched enough. Enjoy your slow, torturous demise and cancel Netflix. This whole thing, in regards to it, people come around and talking about it, you realize as I go through these things and you see it, nobody is talking about the actual show itself, right? Nobody's talking about the actual show itself. Nobody's talking about whether the show was good, what was the aspects of it, whether the vampires and things in it was believable, whether it was intriguing, whether it was dark and mysterious and sexy. None of that. The only thing you're hearing is they don't like lesbians, they're racist, they don't like lesbians, they don't want people of color. It was such a treat to see somebody who looks like me. This is the exact same thing you heard in regards to Batwoman. Nobody talked about Batwoman. Nobody talked about the show itself. What they liked about it, nothing. Because there was nothing to really like about the show. Nobody talked about that. All they talked about was lesbians, women of color. Lesbians, women of color, people who look like me. And the majority of these people who come out posting these things on Twitter don't watch the show. They don't watch it at all. They know for themselves that they are just blue check marks who come on Twitter to just rage against the machine, but they aren't watching the show. Because if you were actually watching it, it wouldn't have gotten cancelled. But you don't want to admit that you're not watching it. So, like I said to begin with, first thing I thought I had, the show was not going to go past one season. I was correct. Secondly, I said people are going to come out and talk about all the wrong reasons as to why it get cancelled. Okay. Now, thirdly, I said somebody associated with the show would come out and talk about the very reason why the show was cancelled, the very same thing I'm talking about. Lo and behold, article from Bounding Into Comics. First Kill showrunner says Netflix decision to promote vampire series solely based on its featuring teenage lesbians contributed to series cancellation. That's a given. That's a given. You may think, you see, when you all try to go woke and don't understand that this is not what people are interested in, not what people want, you suffer badly, and this is what happens. At least this showrunner had the courage to come out and say this. Most would have looked to hide behind the blanket that Netflix and all these Twitter weirdos will come out and throw over it. This showrunner had the courage to come out and say it. In the opinion of series showrunner Felicia D. Henderson, the poor viewership numbers cited by Netflix as the reason for First Kill's abrupt cancellation were in part caused by the streaming giant's own decision to market the series exclusively based on the fact that it contained teenage lesbians instead of literally any other aspect of its story. That is completely 100% true, because when I saw the trailer, the main thing they were pushing in the trailer was the teen lesbian drama. There was barely anything at all in regards to anything to do with the actual vampire thing. You're getting like little glimpses of it here and there, but mostly was just them kissing and okay, but that was basically it. Created by author Victoria Schwab and based on her novel of the same name, First Kill follows the story of teenage vampire Juliet, who, when tasked with making her first kill so she can take her place among a powerful vampire family, sets her sights on a new girl in town named Calliope. Okay, well, yeah, it's all of this talk about this one is the vampire hunter and all of that. Premiering on June 10th, First Kill was cancelled less than 2 months later, with sources reportedly explaining to Deadline that yes, it was cancelled because it didn't have any kind of viewership, did not have the staying power of most Netflix hits, and did not meet thresholds for viewing and completion of episodes. Okay. As for comment on the series end by the Daily Beast, Henderson told the news outlet, when I got the call to tell me they weren't renewing the show because the completion rate wasn't high enough, of course I was very disappointed. What showrunner wouldn't be? I'd been told a couple of weeks ago that they were hoping completion would get higher. I guess it didn't. Turning to the subject of the series' teenage lesbian-centric marketing campaign, Henderson stated that while she thought the art for the initial marketing was beautiful, she expected this focus to be the beginning and that the other equally compelling and important elements of the show, monsters versus monster hunters, the battle between two powerful matriarchs, etc., would eventually be promoted, and that didn't happen. Now, had they done that, I would have watched it. I think a lot of other people would have. That sounds like an interesting concept. We got something a little similar to that in Teen Wolf also, but this would sound like something interesting people would be interested in. As described, Daily Beast according to between the few ads that were released, downplayed the show's supernatural thrills in favor of photos of the two main characters making out, potentially kneecapping its reach. Yeah, but in trailer, I think that's all you were seeing. Pictures of them lovingly making out and embracing, that was it. Ultimately, said Henderson, while she was overjoyed that the series had found a niche audience and its many LGBT fans, I doubted that many, she wished viewers would have had the time to discover everything else First Kill had to offer. The other reason I so enthusiastically signed on to this show is that it has something for everyone. Strong women leads, supernatural intrigue, an epic Shakespearean battle between warring families, and a prominently featured black family in the genre space, something black viewers can crave and general audiences need to be treated to. We got none of that. All we were getting was this lesbian drama shoved down your throat. So I'm not surprised that this happened. I pretty much knew it was going to happen from the trailer, but once again, people coming out to rage against the machine, and yet you were not watching it. So First Kill cancelled because they focused on the wrong thing. People want vampire stories, intriguing monster versus monster hunter, Shakespearean drama with action. People want that. No, you figure let's just push the lesbian angle, and that's teenage lesbian angle. That's all that we need. Failed miserably with Batwoman. You want to try it too. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.